There's someone sleeping above me, and I'm always terrified that I'm gonna wake them up. And they're just sitting there thinking, just stewing in anger at me for talking in the middle of the night. How could someone do that? I don't know. I speculate negative thoughts a lot. I recorded a lot of attempts on this level earlier where I was trying to figure out where to get ammo. It turns out there was ammo in almost every place that I was looking. But this way, despite there being the most guards and stuff, was actually the most convenient way to go because you can just run past them. That area which I just ran past was reference to level 7 of episode 1, and that key area was the Tom Hall initial, which is a key area in episode 3, level 7, that I always liked, so I pretty much just copy-pasted it. I kind of... This level felt very stitched together to me at the time. It's sort of the final area before the first official boss battle, which is the next level, and then sort of the transition to where I introduced the officers and the third key, and where I started to feel really particularly confident about what I was doing. But playing this, there's actually quite a few neat areas, and even though it felt a little bit like level 11 to me, you know, in that it's kind of stitched together, it's a lot more interesting than that, going back. The main area is very much a reference to episode 2, level 8, which is not a level I'm particularly fond of. Oh, I like that guard facing the wrong direction. He could have been taking a piss or something. I didn't do that kind of stuff enough. I don't know if he was actually meant to be facing that direction, but I can assume that he was. There's a little barrel fortress for these guys here. I kind of like that on each side. It's not something I think it's just one thing among many that I did to try to make areas more interesting. But this one actually seemed cooler to me than a lot of other things that I did to try to do that. I don't know, unlike level 14, this one feels very imperfect. So I'm back to talking about pieces and parts again. There's a room. This room only has one piece of treasure in it, and it's very well lit. There's no secrets. Who knows what purpose that room served? Maybe it... I don't even want to speculate. You know, if you were the sort of type who were saying you should only have things that are necessary in there, then that room is something that would get axed immediately. Okay, I almost died laughing when I saw that. Those guards. I thought I was being clever by having them have these like moving triggers, but like most of them in the game, the triggers were broken, so they just get stuck on a wall. I didn't even know about that era though, because I didn't go to this area very often. I don't know, there's something really entertaining about it. It makes it a relief in a way, because if they were moving properly, I don't think I would have enjoyed that nearly as much. Yeah, I'm back to breaking things into pieces. Because it almost doesn't feel like part of me. just pieces that you have to justify. I have to justify to someone watching, you know, why should you be watching this? Why does Wolfenstein matter in any way? Why are you not getting motion sickness? I was reading something about a Bennett Foddy, this guy who did this game called Quap, and GURP and stuff, and he was saying that in his talk about, which was very similar to what I was talking about in one of these videos about frustration being a good thing. He said Wolfenstein makes you dizzy, and that's not a good thing because it wasn't intentional. But I don't know, who knows if it was intentional or not. I mean, yes, you can say it wasn't intentional, but maybe that, you know, that is and has always been part of the experience and can't be separated from it. And, you know, you can speculate on what the developers were and weren't happy with, but in the end, the piece of the thing that they did is not connected to them anymore. It becomes its own thing, you know. They can't go back and remake it or whatever. It's already been out in the world for so long. So, you know, John Carmack can say that he thinks the 3DO version of Wolfenstein is the best, and I can say that's BS, and I think it looks like crap. But, you know, he's a guy who's always been very fixated on the technical side and almost never on the game design one. I think he's kind of blind to that, or at least blind to the idea of artistic expression through design, kind of, from what I understand, almost hates the idea. Just more cognitive dissonance, I guess. But that's the lack of awareness that a lot of very, very smart technical sort of minds have. The lack of artistic language and ways of understanding art that's pretty depressing when you think about it. And at the same token, it's also pretty depressing that art seems to be so separated from science, as if they're completely different things. I've never understood that. Well, maybe I'm exaggerating, but these guys kicked my ass this time around, and there's no excuse because I could have just mowed them down. I was not in the mood for assholes. There was a couple of people being assholes to me today on forums and stuff, partly about my like gender stuff, you know, as if that I like kidnapped this person that they think of as Jack Ryerson, who made this game when I was 14 and sort of made them refer to me, how dare they, made them refer to me as Ryerson, because my voice doesn't sound to them what, you know, and their idea of female is. So of course I can't claim that I'm female. What the audacity of that, you know, and how they're the ones in charge of deciding what is and isn't acceptably female. If you're not female, you don't really have the right to do that, do you? And I don't even think you have the right to do that anyway, even if you are female, to define what somebody else is identifying as. I don't want to go into it though, because it's not really something that I need to devote time and energy to debunking, because it's their lack of understanding and empathy and not mine. So I'm not gonna give assholes a chance to speak like they know what they're talking about, because they don't. I like this key area. It's nice and open. There's one lone guard hiding in that last part where you actually pick up the key. You just sort of wind in. It's like that end part of level 12 where you're going down this winding, very linear path. Of course you have to backtrack here, which is annoying. There are a lot of things that are maybe seen as bad or stupid that I like, but if there's one thing that I don't like, it's making people backtrack unnecessarily unless there's some reason to do it. That's something I've never been a fan of. This level I definitely tried to maximize space in ways that are not very savvy, I guess you could say. I'm not sure. They're just kind of, I have this much space and I have to keep connecting these areas to make this last part more interesting because it's supposed to be an epic level. Oh, by the way, the music is something that I did for this mod called Spear Resurrection that was very popular. I think it released in 2002, had new graphics and stuff. It's by this guy, RIP and MCS. And it wasn't accepted for that project, but it's kind of weird in tone for a normal level, because looping something like that is weird. So I only used it for one level, this level, because it's sort of a journey towards the end. So anyway, I will see you guys later.